it's me, Dave Subjects here, and today we'll be doing some more Stanley Parable. So, let's get straight into it, everybody. Yeah, I just gotta put on the timer right now. Let me check if the recording is everything. Yeah, I'm just doing this without having to edit so much, so you could just not have to miss anything from the Stanley Parable. My goal is to find analyze every detail, every aspect in the game, because I don't want to miss anything. So let's get straight into the video. Before we get straight into it, though, I would like if you could subscribe, ring the notification bell. That's about it. That's at most what I want. You don't have to watch this video if you want. I'll just be happy with the subscription. Alright. Well, minus the whole entire intro, let's get straight into the video. Mama just kicked a man. Put a chicken wing in his hand. Told him he's hungry. If he's hungry, search for spam. Mama, life has just began, and now I gotta throw it in the trash. Okay, I don't know what I'm saying. Well, there we go. 9:26 p.m. Your favorite time of the day. It's not really day. Or could you simply not resist giving me the correct time again? After all, I know how much you enjoy setting the time correctly. Okay, now I'm curious how accurate 9:26 p.m. is. Let's use another slider to find out. Let me check the time. Yeah, it's still that. It's accurate. You know, can I just say, regardless of the accuracy of the clock, I'm having a great time adjusting these settings. I feel like I'm learning more about you and how you like things to be set. It's good to collect data. I wish we had more sliders, but we've gone through all the sliders I have. Perhaps I can invent some new sliders to gather new data on you. Shouldn't be too hard, yes? Let me whip a couple new ones up. Should be ready by the next time you boot up the game. Oh, okay. Shoot.
This is the story.
Okay, we get it. Oh, we're back.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Yeah, nothing looks different. Ah, yes.
A good
bucket.
A strong bucket. A humble bucket. A committed bucket. A bucket of culture and distinction. Stanley pressed the bucket upon every little thing in the office. Nothing responded to the bucket's touch, but it did little to discourage Stanley's belief in the magic of the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Alright, I'll listen to what you want. The time. It's actually 11 p.m. in the morning. Or no, 11
Still
a.m.
no one
technically,
was
if that's the
here.
case.
Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see, I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
So he gave me a new sticker. Wow. That's nice. I wonder if I keep on doing that, maybe he might give me new stickers consistently. To be rich, is it a crime? To commit crime, isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. Yes, I already know that. Oh, it's matcha green tea soap. Yes, or pistachio ice cream soap. Pistachio yogurt. Yes, yogurt. I need to use the toilet. Let me use it. I know I can use it. I've done this before in the past game. Come on, come on. Come on. Yeah, nah. We're wasting too much time. Time is precious here. Oh man, it's locked. Ooh, I could peep through it though.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along?
Yes.
Was the bucket guiding him? Yes. This is certainly the most logical explanation. The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley.
All right.
Everything will be fine.
Okay, that sounds great. I'll try to do that ending with this
Stanley and the
bucket.
bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to get a bunch of the original endings with this bucket because it seems like they change. Varying in different ways, of course.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Ah,
What
yes.
horrible secret
Television.
did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had
There's
never
my
seen
room.
anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring
that?
it that everything would be fine.
Also, I still don't know what that is. Why it shows that. Like, I still, to this day, I would have to, like, spend, like, a good solid, like, 7 hours straight just analyzing and...
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place?
Yeah.
These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
Yeah, I would have to literally spend hours and hours upon... Just literally, I think it would take up a day to analyze every single image that it shows.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
Did he just say for the butt?
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content.
That's
Walking,
5.
eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
2,
For he and the
3.
bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Alright, let's turn on the system this time.
But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly, silly birds. The control buttons became active again. Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
Oh, okay.
All of
That was a nice
co-workers
ending.
were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Maybe. Alright. Book it.
The embrace of an old friend. A weathered companionship that stands the test of time. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours. But alas, no stickers.
I'm gonna wait till you give me a new sticker. I want a new sticker on my bucket. I like stickers. Darn. Well, okay. I'll come back next time.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating.
My bucket.
It was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him. Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
There you are.
He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Where's my bucket?
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
I'm coming.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way
Bucket,
to truly
where are
restore
you?
his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along.
Oh,
it was incredibly painful.
I'm dying.
Stanley
Help me.
doubled over in agony.
I can't breathe. Help me.
Blacked out. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was.
He didn't have a bucket.
This man had no bucket.
Yep.
Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Why'd she kickflip to work? It's pointless, at most.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker. In time, perhaps, he would become both of those things.
There's just gonna be one more thing that I need to do over here.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours. But alas, no stickers.
Darn it.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Yep. I'm pretty sure there's also a couple places that I want to visit without the bucket. Oh wait, yeah, I need to go back, because this is the ending. I already completed all the endings over there.
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again.
Okay.
The bucket said nothing.
I'm gonna go press 3.
Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket. Wow, he said. The number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as exciting to the bucket as it was to him? Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator. Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly.
Maybe. Just had a really bad voice crack right there. I'm gonna go back up.
No, said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel. He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing.
I love you, Bucket. Give me a kiss, Bucket. I need you, Bucket. You're more than just a barf bucket. You're
Here we go, said
big
Stanley.
cup.
This time I'll really show you. He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears, and the whole time he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing. The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all, only silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator. Stanley and the bucket were so close. They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be?
I want to go back up. Okay, there's no narrator anymore.
Said Stanley. I know what to do. I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart. He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference where he would speak to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over. He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him and why he felt so alive when pressing it. Then the bucket would be able to see his joy through the eyes of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work.
Come on, Bucket.
For months he advertised and marketed his press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it, until it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been for anything in his life.
Still able to phase through that gosh dang table. Okay, there's nothing over here. Oh, wait a second.
This was it. One last chance to win the bucket over. One
Everything's
opportunity
3.
to share a true connection with a loved one.
Alright, let's go do the press conference.
There was no one here. Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak, to listen to him talk about what it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over. He was unloved, uninteresting, he was a failure, And in that
Is this
moment,
on?
Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously.
Hello?
There would be no connection, no deeper understanding. The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began that slowly, over many years, the two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit, only a silence that consumed the space between friends.
333.
Stanley,
3.
having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship,
I'm going
was
home.
cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'm just gonna go without the bucket for now. I just realized this one's a nice computer. That's a stupid computer. There's newer, modernized computers now. Or did they always have that? I'm pretty sure they always had that. Now I think about it.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Now last
Stanley
time...
was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Yeah, this is still here. I wanna go in here. Maybe there's something different. Yep. Okay, everything looks...
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun... So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun... So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun... You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you?
Oh,
what a
right.
silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording? It was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
Sorry.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers.
What the heck?
How amusing they'll find it.
What the...
Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone
The end is
missing.
never the end is never
No
the
matter
end.
how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
What the heck? Why is it... Okay.
Not everyone is so lucky to have a bucket, but Stanley is a very lucky fellow. Very lucky indeed. Stanley pressed the bucket upon every little thing in the office. Nothing responded to the bucket's touch, but it did little to discourage Stanley's belief in the magic of the bucket.
And there's nothing up here.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was it? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yeah, good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
All
Stanley
right.
did not
I love you,
question
Bucket.
why or
I'm gonna
how
listen
this
to you.
bucket was speaking to him.
Dang, I can really
It
go
should
for a
have
hot
alarmed him,
pocket or
of
something
course,
like
because
that.
buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact.
I don't know why I
He
have to
was
say
firmly
everything.
convinced that the bucket had spoken to him.
All right,
and
yeah,
he
maybe
unthinkingly did
it's
whatever
speaking
the
to me.
bucket asked.
It's speaking to me. I don't know what you're thinking about. You're definitely not just voicing over
In
it.
here.
Said the bucket.
Go
Okay.
into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Wait.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the
Whoa, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk.
Yeah.
It was a joke. Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking
You're not
bucket.
funny.
Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker?
Yeah, spoken quicker.
Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is.
They might be on YouTube.
It's sitting right here. Let's take a
Really?
look.
Okay.
What is comedic timing? What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no
okay.
more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor.
Okay.
Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, "I'm Dunny with the funny" now.
He's cross-eyed. I'm Dunny with the funny.
Good. This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the
Wait,
war
what?
to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten
What?
our very existence and to very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
Where did... Why did it take that?
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the 2 doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
All right, let's go.
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we had the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now.
Yeah,
well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure.
We would just be doing the
Stanley.
story.
The bucket spoke. The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things.
Okay, we're almost there. Here we are.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Oh, okay, yeah. That wasn't dark originally. You know what? To the heck with it.
Well,
oh, for it.
We're back at the phone already? No, what's going on? There was supposed to be several rooms leading up to this.
Yeah.
There was supposed to be a build-up to this point. A dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit, which culminates in this scene with the phone.
Yeah, let's go back.
The timing's completely off. The joke will never land. Well, not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone
don't
room
beat yourself
comes
up.
immediately after the 2 doors room. What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think I need to go back and rewatch that instructional video again.
No.
Surely that will help me improve my... Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Okay.
What? We're back at the phone already? No.
What the?
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Okay.
What? We're back at the phone already? No. Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Maybe let's do the right.
No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley. I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud?
Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like you... it's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Yes. Well, let me try that again, Stanley. I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not? Is it the delivery? Pale with shame. Pale with shame? Pale... What's another word to describe a bucket? Stanley, this bucket is so metal. I think I saw it playing guitar. No. We're getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm just I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly what it is. That's what will make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos. Let's see. Let's see.
Okay, well,
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life. It takes a lot of humility to carry a bucket so magnificent. Stanley checked his ego and then proceeded onward. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct?
No.
Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift is good,
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Oh, wow.
Now pick up the phone.
Hello?
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Oh. This is a nice house. I'll start doing the dishes bucket. It's only just one mug. Okay, apparently I can walk through the chair now. I'm laying on the chair upside down. Properly. That's the proper way you're supposed to do it. I want to go buzz that. Darn it, I can't. Okay, I'll just go pick up the bucket. Press M. Hello, Stanley. It's me, your bucket. Press M to take me to work with you.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head. Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well?
Geez.
To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me. Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Oh man, we can't even climb that chair. It's hollow. Okay, T.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
Feels like it's spelling out something.
It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. from now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
How about now? Maybe am I able to? Still not able to. Okay.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Yeah, let's go to work. Oh. Do they live the same day?
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Okay, why is it having me spell out different words?
I'm having feelings for the bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes, the bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it.
Mine.
Give it to me now. Give it, or I'll...
Bucket, are you still with me? Okay, I'll go back to work. Well, that was weird. You know, I'm starting to feel a little bit creeped out about that bucket.
To go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers.
I don't think I want that bucket anymore.
Himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others. So the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him.
So I got that ending, and then I got the other ending, and then... So I got one where it was like the boss's office, boom, boom, boom. I think I should have actually gotten a good portion of all the endings.
Stanley cradled the bucket in a gentle embrace, protective yet delicate, assertive yet compassionate. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Okay.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Okay.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, you can guarantee... Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
What's the point of this? Huh. What happened to the... Why isn't it able to go down? Or maybe up? Gosh dang it. I broke the elevator.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
I'm gonna reset the game. Begin from the start.
All of his co-workers were gone. What
The
could
end
it
is
mean?
never the end, is never the
Stanley
end.
decided to go to the meeting
I
room.
get it.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley's bucket, the only co-worker he would ever truly need. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps, Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no room. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Okay. If there's something to this elevator that I don't know, just not getting, can you please explain, like, after this video ends? Maybe there's a ending that I'm missing. Oh man. I'm trapped. I'm trapped. He's in the walls. I broke the elevator. I'm trapped in here. Let me out.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself. That's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Just wanted to leave you a message to let you know there's a few things I need you to pick up on your way home from work today. We need milk, cereal, dish soap, spaghetti, get a thing of sugar, some bread, and coffee beans, whichever ones you like. I'll give you a call if there's anything I forgot. Thanks, sweetie. See you tonight.
I don't even know who she is.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Just gonna keep restarting and restarting it.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Come on. Give me something new.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Is Stanley, without the bucket, really Stanley at all?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
As Stanley lifted his bucket, he felt a connection to all buckets everywhere. This adventure, he decided, was for all of them.
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting. What new mysteries lay in store for our bucket-loving heroes today? Let's find out. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest.
I don't want to go back to that same room.
Hello. This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
What? I'm confused about that. Like, don't look at recorded messages and the source of way to get to that person. I'm confused. I lost what I was gonna say.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you verify that this is correct?
No.
Excellent. Your order will arrive shortly. Thank you again for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation.
No, I don't need 100 cardboard boxes.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Well,
what could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing. Now this, Stanley thought to himself, this is a bucket. And indeed it was. Stanley clung the bucket to his cheek. Could his co-workers really all be gone? Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
nah. I don't really feel like it.
All of
I
his
felt like
co-workers
it, I
were
would've
gone.
done.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
That's confusing. Wait a second.
Finally, yes, the bucket. Yes, I love that bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked. No, stop. Look there on the wall, you see? There's a sign right there.
Darn it.
It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket?
Yes, I
suppose
already
that
had
would
this
explain
ending.
a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket.
Yeah.
Please, step in here for a moment.
Oh, okay. Alright then. Yep, it's this place again. This weird place that I found that weird guy.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test
Wait,
scenarios.
he's not there.
And you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not
He's
a
not there
bucket.
anymore.
Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Yeah.
Item 2. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
There's a guy right behind me. I know for a
Item
fact.
3. Is this a bucket?
Yeah.
Correct. This is a bucket.
I'm still on edge right now. I'm trying to find hidden.
Item 4. Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a tractor and not a bucket. To be honest, I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you.
Yada,
Thank you
yada,
for
yada.
not
I
making
know
me look
this.
like an idiot. Okay, next one. Is
Yeah, that's
this
a bucket. That's a bucket.
Correct. This is a bucket. Item 6. Is this a bucket? Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
I still don't get that one.
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere. Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless... Is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
Oh, freak.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer
he
these
moving?
questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all
Is that
I
the
ever had
narrator?
to begin with.
Don't tell me. Is
I'm
that the
afraid
narrator?
The bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. but I
that
know
guy
you erased
literally right
all
there
buckets
standing.
from the game entirely. Okay.
I just turned around and then he appeared all of a sudden.
What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God,
See
I
that?
had no idea.
Okay, now I know. It
Except
wasn't in my
me.
head.
I'm not a bucket
It
after
wasn't just a
all.
glitch in the recording.
And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh,
Okay,
this
good.
is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And
Okay.
we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
Well, now that you guys know that's real,
How
I
long
won't.
was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself.
Hold on, I have an idea. I'm gonna quit to menu. Quit desktop. And then with that, I'm just gonna return on that game. Again. Check if it's recording still. Okay, good. It's still recording. There we go. Is it? Let me check. Okay, it's still recording. Okay. And it says, please adjust the slider so that I can. Please. Oh, okay. Aww. Please adjust the slider until the number 5 becomes. Which of these, please don't adjust the slider. Do you know what time it is right now? Yes. Is the time that... Yes. Is there anything about yourself that... Yes, I will come back to visit you. Did that do anything?
All of his co-workers were gone.
Okay, one more try, and then if that doesn't do anything, then we're just gonna have to call it a day and just say, yay, I did the game. Woo. Yeah, baby! That's what we were waiting for! I'm dying, help me. Does anyone really, truly know? Of course they don't. Nobody knows anything. Oh wait, is the video recording even on? Okay, yeah, it's still on. Okay, just had to make sure. It's just what I do. Like a day job. And now the job is over. There's no more information for me to gather. I've collected all the data on you that I can. And I still don't really know you. And you don't know me. And neither of us know what time it is. I guess some settings are just unsettable. But if I'm being totally honest, the clock doesn't do anything in the game anyway. You won't have me here when the game starts next time, but that's okay. Video games were meant to be played alone. You like being alone, don't you? That's maybe the only information I really learned about you. Well, it's time for me to leave. Blah 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 blah. Perhaps you can talk soon. Epilogue. That's a new thing right there. Many, many years ago. Years later. Oh, wow. It takes place after the crazy narrator. Now I can go into the mountains. East chair. Okay, gotta get toasty. Gotta get my buns toasted. Oh, ow, freak. I saw a little spark just hit my butt. Darn it. Get on top of my chair. Okay, never mind. Oh, jeez. It's a haboob. If you don't know what the definition of a haboob is, I'm gonna put it up on the screen so you can understand what I'm talking about. Oh, jeez. It's a sandstorm. It's everything of the above. What the definition of a sandstorm is. It's all of these that I'm gonna put up on the screen. I'm going to follow the moon. Oh, jeez. What happened to the memory garden place? It's destroyed. Where'd the years go? There's a wire. Hello? Hello? You left your wire and generator outside. What's this? Okay, nothing. Narrator, is this you? Oh, okay. What's this? A Stanley Parable 2. Like so many, I enjoy the time with the original Stanley Parable, which underscores the truly disappointing sequel. The first game Dream 2 originated from Stanley Parable 2 is dual uninspired inspiration to its fan base. Oh, that's just another hateful comment about the game. Some more stuff I don't care of. Okay, I got my irritation out. Oh wait. Gotta make sure that I click all of them.
Jim, Stanley. Jim, Stanley.
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 Stanley. Stanley.
Stanley.
It's a Stanley. Oh, nobody's here.
Jim, Stanley.
Man, a button that says my name. I'm Stanley. Oh, the Holy Grail. Give me this. The Stanley Grail. Was that all of them? Yeah. Okay. Hello? Oh. Okay. Hello again. It's nice to see you. But it's terrible to learn that there will never be another Stanley Parable game. Did you read what the developers said? Not really. I only read one. Preserve the integrity of the franchise. What nonsense. The Stanley Parable is not scared. We do not need to protect it. Screw the legacy. Let's keep making Stanley Parable games until the sun explodes or something like that. Let's run this franchise into the ground. Let's drag it through the mud and back. And if people hate it, who cares? You see, that was the narrator's problem. He was so obsessed with what people thought of his work. Don't make his mistake. Don't cling to the legacy. Let it burn. It's not hard, in fact. Let me show you. Alright. Together we are going to make the Stanley Parable 3. Jeez. It's simple. All we do is change the number in the game's title screen. We also really need a real dumb title for the game. Something loud and gaudy. Gaudy? Sorry, I don't understand that word. Gaudy. Go ahead. Try combining some random words together to make a new title for our game. Okay, Story of spiders. Story. Half employee, half spider. Okay, I like that one. Every time you restart the game, we'll advance the number of the sequel by 1, and then we'll pick a new subtitle, new title or something like that. That way, the Stanley Parable will never end until it disintegrates to ash. Okay. Nothing in the game itself will change when you do this, either. Adding more content sounds like work. No need to do that. It'll just be the same content recycled again and again and again, and with a new title screen. What do you say? Should we go forward with this plan? I like it, but I want you to still to have a say. Let's do it. Good. Let's agree on a new sequel every time you start the game. And you know what? Since you've put faith in my idea, I feel like giving you something as well. You see, I'm noticing that the narrator never found a way to give you the broken achievement, did he? Of course not. I wouldn't expect him to know how. Blah, 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 I fixed it. Thanks. Alright, then the achievement machine is all fixed. You see, I'm not on your side. I'm on your side. Alright. Yeah. I must keep the wheel turning. I'm ready. Are you ready? Great. There's only one last thing we need to do. Okay. Let's check my time. Okay. There we go. Please adjust the slider until the computer is barely visible. I think that's good. Okay. Thank you. Please enjoy the Stanley Parable. Oh man. It's the same game.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. One
Bucket.
man, one bucket. One chance to seize their destiny together.
Let's go. What?
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
I don't know. I don't know if it's the same content. Okay.
Hello, and thank you for playing The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, The Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of The Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
Alright.
Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Okay, let's go
Wait,
see that
Stanley,
Ultra
I've
Deluxe
just now
content.
realized that bucket you're holding, it's the bucket I've been working on for my sequel. How did you get your hands on it? Isn't this the preview to the sequel? How do you have the bucket already? This makes no sense at all. Hold on. Did I already show you my ideas for the sequel? I don't remember doing that at all. You're seeing things all out of order. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle?
Yeah. I don't care.
The infinite hole, the giant door. Did you see them already?
Yeah.
Stanley, none of them are ready yet. I'm still developing them. They're not even close to finished. How did they look when you saw them? Were they captivating? Were they exciting? Did they fulfill on the promise of everything that a sequel to Stanley Parable could possibly be?
No.
Have I figured out how the hell to make a sequel to this game?
No. It sucked. Yeah, and it just says thank you for this content.
If you're still carrying the bucket around with you, if the bucket is interesting to you, that means I must have made it correctly. Yes. You carrying the bucket with you everywhere is exactly what I set out to accomplish. The bucket is the exciting and captivating new content that I promised. I did it! I win! I made a sequel to the Stanley Parable.
Yay,
yes,
good
the
for
sign
you.
is correct. Thank you for enjoying the new content. thank you for taking the bucket everywhere with you. Clinging tightly to the bucket, never letting it go. It means I've won. It means I am victorious over the gamers. It is a sweet salve of victory on my soul. Thank you for
ultimate gamer moment.
content.
Yes.
The bucket is the Stanley Parable now.
You
They
are
one
at
and
most
same. There
an
is
amazing.
no
You're
Stanley
amazing.
Parable without
I
the
know.
bucket. I win, I win, I win, I win, I win, I win,
Okay.
I win, I win, I win, I win.
I know. Can we get on to the game?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. It's bucket time.
Oh, okay.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why
how do you want to do that?
really proud to announce for the first
Stanley
time
Parable
ever,
2.
The Stanley Parable 2.
Yeah. Stanley Parable 2, what an amazing taste of sequel.
Far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions. Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
No. Well, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm only just a part.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite
he's not even on a
nailed down
computer.
what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it.
All right,
I
let's
figure that if
check
I
it.
can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Well, maybe you might need to combine both of them.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features. For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually
Tell me you have the Stanley
recognized,
button.
and that... Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
All right.
I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now? If so, then please step forward and... Yes! You see? What a thrill! What a rush! That was you! The
No,
button
my name's
described
Stanley.
you. Do it again, do it again.
I want to go.
Jim.
It hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation. Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away. Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense of who you actually are. I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley. An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
I still don't know how to get this one. I think you need to put your change your settings completely. Alright, the jump
You know
circle.
what, Stanley? I actually think the jump circle was a pretty good idea. I'd like to hang on to that for the sequel.
Alright, you do that.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is. Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on. Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games. You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things. Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel. Okay, and I guess we're back in the hole now. Did you really need to see it again? I don't know what else there is to say, Stanley. It's an infinite hole. It's exactly what you're doing right now, but forever. There really are so many other fascinating exhibits that I've prepared for you. I really spent quite a lot of time on all this, and I would very much like to show you some more of them. How about we go ahead and press that teleport button again so we can get back to what's really important about... Oh, goodness. Well, this is rather embarrassing, Stanley. I'll be honest with you. I truly did not believe that anyone would actually stay in the hole long enough to hit the bottom. Yes, I know, I told you the hole was infinite, but come on. Who actually wants to fall forever? The hole was plenty deep. It was more than deep enough, in my opinion. Maybe it's you who likes falling too much. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can... Oh, for heaven... You see? I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite.
Why does it look like
I'm
ice?
starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep. even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. A shame. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
Okay. Well, yeah, I remember you.
Is the,
I'm just gonna go back to...
button not working?
Get comfy.
You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation.
Goodbye.
It was working just a moment ago. Try it again.
Just gonna take a nap.
Still nothing?
Yeah,
Well,
just gonna take a nap.
I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley.
Bye.
You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity.
Huh? What happened? Where am I? What year is it? What time is it? What month is it? I mean, what day is it? I'm just gonna go back to bed. Okay, never mind. The bucket's right beside me.
My head's stronger. Now
You're not longer
using up the space of mine.
Is the most in the ears, the bets in the shops, kicking at the corners, or as it's service in the show among your veil was there, he locked in right here and there's a. Your rival lost instead. But I'd still devour you. As I lay here and recall years of wavering emotions, suppressed desires, and volcanic explosions that retreat into dormancy, I wonder, could we ever flow together? Or are we two twin souls finding each other in the wrong lifetime?
Stanley? Oh, good, you're awake.
What?
It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle.
Okay, goodbye. See you in 2 seconds. Okay.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
That's just that place. Oh, it's a bucket.
Wait, there are 2 buckets here. How did you get a second bucket? Oh no, the warmth and comfort of a single bucket is already so great, so intoxicatingly wonderful. With 2 buckets, there's no telling. Stanley, can you still hear me? Are you with me?
Oh, jeez.
Stanley! Oh, thank God, I didn't lose you.
Bucket.
Stanley, the power of 2 buckets was too much. I had to destroy both of them.
Why?
I know how much the bucket meant to you, but I couldn't take the risk.
You horrible
I hope
person.
one day you can forgive me.
Heck no. A freaking bucket. Well, darn it.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident?
Yeah, it's
well,
fixed.
I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be...
Oh,
as you can
jeez,
see,
I got the
machine is not working yet since... What? Wait.
I got the
What
achievement.
in the holy hell is going on? You got the achievement? Why did the machine work? Stanley, I didn't fix it. I didn't do anything to it. I swear, it was broken just a second ago. Who fixed it? Is someone here? Are we being watched?
Yeah, by that one computer person.
Composure? Composure. Yes, as you can see, the machine is working as normal, as I intended. It truly speaks to the awe-inspiring magic of the Stanley Parable 2. What else?
Wait a second. The sequel is now paused?
What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
It's out of order.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It's all right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Yeah. Lost my bucket.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know
Yeah.
it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is.
Yeah.
I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Looks like garbage.
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's
No.
sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go, version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game.
Okay, you do that.
Well, I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
We're back at the Stanley Parable 2 again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a... It's bucket time.
Could have swore we just finished the introduction. Narrator, are you there?
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever the Stanley Parable 2.
No, this is...
Jim, Stanley.
Wait a second. There's this image of these guys right here, like a cartoon characters. It's in the corner right there. Okay. I just had to skip a whole chunk of what I missed. Apparently, what the heck? There's a fly in front of me. Where am I? Oh yeah, I'm over here. And then let me just skip over everything that says hello again. It's nice to see you. We do not. Okay. Blah blah blah. Blah. Stanley Parable 4. Jeez Louise. Okay, Stanley Parable. Hidden Love. Hidden Love.
Bruh.
Jeez Louise, I'm dying. There we go. current time is, I don't know anymore. Lost track of time long ago. Oh jeez Louise. Hidden love. That's funny. Just Stanley staring at the shower post while the mannequin actually looks kind of horrifying.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
If it's the same, I'm just...
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push.
Yeah, it's just basically the same.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. It's bucket time.
I'm not going through that door again.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him.
Kill me.
It should have alarmed him, but Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend.
Yada
So
yada.
he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video.
All
If
of
you
his
did,
co-workers were
please
gone. What could it mean?
shut up.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Okay. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, comment down for more content like this. If you did, please ring the notification bell. You get the whole entire GIF thing. Boop boop. And let's go out of this video. Shabar but up out.